Pleasant good evening to each and everyone in Georgetown, Guyana, the diaspora, and elsewhere. Friends, there are so many things to talk about Georgetown, Guyana, present and past. But before I continue, I kindly ask you to subscribe to my channel and press the bell so you will be notified on the next updated video. Let it be known clearly to all Guyanese. Anytime I sit down here to address the nation, a nation of 6 people, 6 nations, 1 destiny, instead of 1 people, 1 nation, 1 destiny, that quotation is totally wrong. We have seen it under the late Force Burnham. 1 people, 1 nation, 1 destiny signify only black people rights, 90-something%. Civil servant was all black. We see it now with the Indian government, 1 Guyana instead of 1 destiny and 1 people, 1 nation. And we see the corruption and obstruction what's happening. Let me make this clear. And there's no such thing as a 1 Guyana. There are 3, Dutch, French, and Georgetown, Guyana. And we have 1 in Queens called Little Guyana. So we would like to know which is the real Guyana we are speaking about, since knowing I am from Georgetown, Guyana. Sometimes I ask many questions. I wanted to know if people know what they are saying and what they are doing. Because many Guyanese blacks live in Brooklyn and many other parts. I never hear they name the place where they come from. But we follow people and say Chinatown, so we should have a Little Guyana. Literally, but we should have a Guyana. Do you people realize what Chinese and the Italian contribute to this country before you leave the shore of Guyana to be here? Well, we will talk about that a different time. Let's talk about what is happening right now. I look at a video that someone sent to me, because I didn't have time to look at Glenn Law's show a lot, where he spoke about Exxon representative, spoke how many money they spend, and they got to make it back, 50 billion to oil, digging for oil, which they have been drilling the oil and taking the oil out of Guyana. Friends, I want to know if there are no educated people in Guyana. It's only the PPP and the PNC. Well, I won't say APNU because AFC is a part of both parties. So I don't care what name they give it. They could dress it up, put it on the one, they are all 1. All these ministers in government, in parliament, they're only lying to y'all. And there's a lot of things happening. Under the PNC was a lot of racial issue and a lot of injustice to other races. But not by Desmond Hoyt. And not even by Mr. David Granger for the couple of money he had there. Unfortunately, he made a mistake calling a man a hero, and I think that is when he nailed the coffin with him inside. So Jimmy Carter, America had to do something to avoid terrorism to become heroes, terrorists. You know, life has many corners. You have to know which one to tread on. And being a military man, become a president, should have known better. Since that was the art of the day against terrorism. You don't call a terrorist a hero. Even though we know there are people who are governments are in terrorism act all over the world. But today I want to tread upon a very important story. The young Amerindian girl that accuses Mr. Minister, whoever he is, I don't like call people name, concerning his sex act against her. And according to information, it's alleged, he went to the family and offered 10 million Guyana dollar, and the father take it. According to information, it's alleged. You see, I'm tired it's alleged because Guyana, you never know the truth. I am not saying he did it, and I'm not saying he did not do it. But According to information, again, it's alleged this is not his first act. But what amazed me, let us play devil advocate here, ladies and gentlemen. Let us assume he did it. And according to what I saw on the demonstration, let me congratulate those people who came out in protest for the young woman. And also, I think the international community, especially CARICOM, should get involved, since we are all brothers and sisters in the CARICOM, and we came out of Britain and others. One thing I want the PPP and APNU them to know, America gets what America wants. They don't care about you. They care about your mineral resources. And yes, I do hope President Joe Biden and the Congress and others will listen. I am humiliated in America being a citizen in your country, and I have to thank the fallen soldiers and those who fight for your democracy. When people tell me we are here to take their jobs, we are here in America, and we are causing them to be exploited, I think the president and the government of every state must educate your people. If you did not interfere with people's country, they wouldn't have been here under that category. So it is better to have friends than have enemies. Right, Joe? I'm not saying you portray because you had 40-something years in Congress. Maybe you vote some good things, maybe you vote some bad things, but I'm not your judge neither. God Almighty is your judge, and he will soon judge us all. Guyana in question. Every Guyanese would like to return to their country respectfully and live. For there is good and bad amongst the two races. There are good black people as African descendant. There are good East Indian as Indian descendant. But the majority wins. A pack of illiterate fools and ignorant bastards. What happened to that young girl and what that demonstration caused? As I will give Jack the Jackie and play his devil advocate here. They could say that she been blamed, she been paid to lie on the man. But I do not think that she's lying, personally. But what amazed me, I saw the demonstration, and I would ask my cameraman to put on it a piece so you'll see, and I will take it from there. Thank you. Bear with me.
Nigel Daramlal. Nigel Daramlal. Nigel Daramlal.
Concerned Guyanese rights and political activists all converge at 4th Street, Kingston, in front of the Ministry of Local Government and Regional Development, where Nigel Daramlal is the senior minister following the dam and rape allegations leveled against him by a 16-year-old girl. Many, during the 1-hour demonstration, called for Daramlal to resign and for there to be an impartial investigation, while others voiced their disappointment in how the allegations made by the child were handled.
And for the minister to pass this to the chief education officer and for the chief education officer to make contact with the parents and the young lady, all of this is compromising the process. And so we have no faith in these people, and therefore we are calling for the internationals to come to conduct a fair investigation into this matter.
We want to see justice. On behalf of TCI, the TCI members, we are supporting impartial investigation and psychological support for the young lady.
Because me as a layman in society knows that this matter has no business at the Ministry of Education. To hear the Minister of Education say that, I've engaged somebody to engage this young lady, and we all know that this would normally, or is supposed to rather, go through the Ministry of, supposed to go through child care, which comes under Vindia's ministry, and so that for me was a bit disappointing. And then to hear the Daramlal request to go and leave, not too happy about that either. So we start off really rough.
My concern is how do we create an atmosphere and an environment that makes them comfortable to come forward and be protected. That is my concern, and I want to appeal to every person who might have been the victim of this man Now is the time for you to come out. We are here in full support of you. We are here to say today that we have your back. The only thing required for evil to prevail is for good men to do nothing. And so we are asking that everybody who might have had this type of experience with this monster, and I know people say, oh, it's an allegation and so on and so forth, but to be continuously the subject of these allegations must give this government cause for pause. And Irfan Ali must decide that this cannot be somebody that he wants in his cabinet.
I condemn the president for being disrespectful to us as women and as mothers. To say that this young lady, he did not receive a complaint. Rubbish. It's a disappointment, and it is behaviors like this. That is why Dharmlal is being allowed to continue on this path, that all these allegations are going against him. I want to say that he stands solid with the young lady. This is a young girl that is suffering, that is fighting for life, and she needs all of our support.
Than one victim. So we are here to stand in support of the victims. And we trust that the investigation will be a fair, unbiased, and free one. One that will be free from any sort of undue influence. And that is extremely necessary here, that the investigation is impartial. And I trust that that will happen. What I'll say to Minister Ben is allow the investigation to happen. Don't try to influence the process. Let it be fair and free.
Members of Parliament, Kemraj Ramjatan and Senior Counsel Roysdale Ford both expressed disappointment in the Superintendent of Police, who purportedly certified a document which was allegedly signed by the teenager, denying the allegations. Ramjatan believes that the policeman should be made to answer for his actions, and Ford said this is not the way for the police to handle such matters.
You simply cannot just go and get a statement from a policeman. I don't know if the girl made a report that it was not her, but you know this policeman went and got a statement from her. And today, again, I understand, the policeman got to be in some hot water here too. You do not do that. It was trying to subvert the course of justice, to pervert the course of justice. And I am terribly annoyed. The professionalism of a police force that we tried hard from 2015 to 2020 under all the various reforms that we had. You know, these reforms from the British security sector, all have gone to naught now. All have gone to naught. And look how quick they are to send a superintendent to go get a statement that the girl talking untruth. That girl would have been most uncomfortable there. So I am of the belief that that policeman ought to certainly tell us who instructed him to do that. And if it was on by himself, he should be disciplined.
I believe that in the context of the document that came out, that the young lady purported to have signed, saying that it wasn't true, I believe that we see some sort of conspiracy to ensure that that matter comes to an end and it's ended at the police station. The Guyana police force and a senior officer would have facilitated and taken part in that process. So my personal concerns, the concerns of the citizens in relation to the role that the government is playing through the Commissioner of Police, through the Home Affairs Minister. This is a political office holder who exercises tremendous power, and the president should ensure that he distances himself and his government from it.
Dr. Ramjatan, the former National Security Minister under the APNU-AFC coalition government, called for Dharmlal to be dismissed.
He should be immediately be dismissed as a minister and as a parliamentarian. It is not as if we are saying that he got a presumption of innocence, because that is for his criminal trial. At this stage, at the political level, such a fella with these serious allegations and all the attempts he made, he should ensure that he step out of these two institutions, cabinet and the parliament.
Meanwhile, Dharmlal has secured the services of popular law firm Hughes, Fields and Stobie to represent him in the matter. Attorney at law Nigel Hughes, in a brief statement this morning, said the allegations of misconduct by Minister Nigel Darmalal, which first surfaced on social media last week, now appear to have attracted the attention of the Guyana Police Force and the Child Care and Protection Agency. Hughes said his client remains willing and disposed to assist in a full investigation of the matter, and that he has denied all the allegations. Further, Hughes said the interest of a fair investigation and the necessity to protect the interests of all parties concerned, it is being searched that speculation, wild accusation, premature judgments, and unsupported conclusions to be avoided. Additionally, Darmalal will not make any further statements unless advised by his attorney.
Yes, friends, as you had looked at that demonstration, and I congratulate those who were there, but I think Kemraj Ramjatan was also in the demonstration, as you can see, and he's condemning the government. He's condemning the law enforcement and everything the way you see it there, and he's right. But is Kemraj Ramjatan, is anybody better? Come on, Kemraj. He talk all about the police, but when he was security minister, he have caused my son to be locked up wrongfully and beaten by police officer in Temeri. Strip him naked and beat him, didn't even give him medical. So I want you to know, these hypocrites, my friends, there is a God. You all might forget because of your race, Indian versus black, black versus Indian. But nobody will escape the crime. America gets what America wants. I do feel the whole thing is wrong according to what I am hearing it's alleged. That a minister told the accuser, the man who's been accused, that to go and meet the family, and he offered them 10 million Guyana dollars. If that happens to be true, then that minister is aiding and abetting in a crime, and he or she should be out of the job immediately until an investigation is properly handled. Any civilized people will say that. And like I will always say, we do not have a government because Guyana was not independent. Indian and black people get a country don't belong to them because you want to handle it like if it's your own, your personal property. Right? Where's the Constitution? Anyone follow it? Come on. There's an article in there, if I remember carefully. Anyone with foreign citizenship should not be allowed to sit in Parliament to legislate laws. Because if you're from England, Canada, or Britain, then we are still ruled by our European nations or the Americans. My friends, everything is wrong. I cannot carry $100 bill in the supermarket and the fine is counterfeit and I get what I want, I get jail. So I'm calling on you, the East Indian and the black people, to unite. We all was misled by Burnham, Jagan, and the rest. How it was different. David Granger tried to play the game and he raised all of them salary. None reject it. Did any one of you, the military, the police, teachers, and anybody, nurses, doctors, anyone get it? It is time for you all to wake up. That's why I said the indigenous people ruled by two dangerous people, the East Indian descendant and the African descendant. Now, let me make this clear, not all of you, because they are good and bad in the two races. And every time you all stand up to speak out, you all need victimization. Like the late Walter Rodney, Waddle, Uwini, Dublin, and if I remember right, Karen Souza was manhandled with Bonita Harrison and Dyer and many more. My friends, there is a God. And if anyone is hiding the fault from the Durham fire to this, I think an investigation should be carried out. And I don't care what the Guyana government says or the police force. I am calling on America. It's better to have friends than have enemies. Enter into this. And for action concerning The $50 billion they claim they spend in U.S., according to Glenn Lal, is alleged again. I think we need educated people to deal. So friends, let's unite for a national front government where Indian, blacks, mixed and other race will have equal opportunity to go forward and put Guyana forward and open up the door to the Ghanaians in Africa and others in Africa and India, and carry our nation forward with God at our side. And may Allah, Bhagwan, and God be with all of you. You all have a good day and keep the struggle. Nothing lasts forever. Have a good day.